Hi there. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a lot more emotional than usual. And those emotions are much more violent and strong than usual. I put this down to having reached a point of calm in my isolation journey. When isolation first started and I realized I couldn't see my clients because most of my business happens in my clients' homes, I started to scramble for a way forward, to find ways to put my business online, to make sure that I can reach my clients, and so on. There were a lot of things to look at and to consider and to make happen. But after a couple of weeks, it felt like I've done everything I can do in order to move my business forward, to ensure some kind of payment, to take every possible step to sign up for support, to sign up for any kind of helplines, that I've reached a point where it felt less than useful to continue running and scrambling. Remember, I talked about acceptance last week, and that's kind of a similar thing. I realized that I could keep running, but it wouldn't do me any good. So I took a step back and started just being. Not so much trying to make things happen, but look at what comes to me. And what came to me was that a lot of the emotional parts of me that I usually bottle up or put to the side as not that important. I'm not saying those are big issues. It's not like, oh my God, existential dread 101. Every morning I wake up and I think, oh, life is horrible. No, not at all. Those are the small things, like small nagging things that you usually just brush off and you think, it's not that important. I don't need to deal with this. But the sum total of all of these leads to a much more pronounced emotional roller coaster than my life usually is. So I get to experience deep moments of joy, but also deep moments of sorrow. And I start crying at some point, or I start laughing at things that normally I wouldn't find funny. It feels like I'm a bit unhinged, and I would think that a lot of people experience this once they get beyond the choppy waters of scrambling into that calm ocean of acceptance. At first, this bubbling up of emotions felt uncomfortable. And I think that is what emotions often are, uncomfortable, because they show you something you'd rather not see. However, I see the value in riding those waves for once. Because, of course, right now we all have time on our hand, so why not make use of that time to deal with a couple of those little issues that bob up on the surface with their little flags and go, hey, I'm here, deal with me, and look at them properly. And consider if they are really problems or if they're just an imaginary thing that I can easily leave behind and no longer have to worry about. And since I find this really therapeutic, I would suggest you may want to look at some of those things as well. Take a bit of time to settle into acceptance. We're all in a holding pattern anyway. Nothing much is happening right now. So this seems like the perfect time to deal with emotions and to experience emotions that normally you wouldn't let come to the surface. If you give this a go, try to think positively about anything that comes up, even emotions that at first sight look like they're negative ones. Ultimately, they're all yours, and you'll have to look at them at some point. There's no time like the present, and in the meantime, I hope you stay well and stay sane, and then come back for more.